Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading for the middle of April 2026. You have this love card. It says, Love is the greatest success on the path to prosperity. Who can fully experience abundance without it? You have this fear of failure. It says, Your fear of failure can be very crippling, especially when it keeps you from even trying. There's definitely something about this right here this month, the fear of failure thing. Could be all the Aries energy this month, of course, that is causing it. So I think that everybody might end up having something like that in their readings. It's something we have to kind of like deal with and overcome. You also have the Nine of Swords here, and the Nine of Swords is like a never-ending nightmare. So it kind of says that, this person on the Nine of Swords has to get out of the nightmare. The person has to leave the bed that they're in. So they kind of have to like face the fear of the unknown to get out of their situation. And, this could be encouraging you to kind of like take that type of risk here, Scorpio. And that is what I would do. I knew that was going to happen right there. It really wouldn't be a Scorpio reading without the Tower, right? You have the Empress, the Five of Swords, and the Nine of Swords. The Empress is very good, of course. The Empress says you're very attractive at this time. Great for creating more abundance in your life in any form that you wish. So, I would be focusing on the energy of abundance, especially this month with Uranus leaving finally Taurus, your opposite sign. That's going to be a little bit of a blessing for you, Scorpio, I feel, for sure. Uranus in your opposite sign, Uranus is chaos, it can create chaos. It can create unpredictable situations. And you've been dealing with that for years. So, the last 7 years. And now finally that it's moving on, I think life can get lighter, a little bit easier. She focuses on making things easy. All she has to do is wave that scepter that she's holding on to create the abundance in front of her. So abundance could be getting a lot easier for you. I'm still not going to say that it's going to be easy. You're still going to have to work for it, but I do feel that you're going to notice the change. You have the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords can represent separation, walking away from something, winning at all cost. I feel for you this is about like taking the risk to walk away from the Nine of Swords. Because the Nine of Swords can be a comfortable comfort zone. An uncomfortable comfort zone is what I meant to say. And we'll talk more about that in a second, but I feel like that's what you need to cut out. Again, we have the Nine of Swords. So the problem with the Nine of Swords is that he's in pain, but he's not in enough pain to leave the situation. And so it can, again, be an uncomfortable comfort zone. If he doesn't think that he can have something better, then he's willing to settle for his current situation because he thinks that everything is just going to be pain, right? But really, he just needs to get out of the bed and realize that he has a choice. He can make his life better. He doesn't have to, sit in something that is painful. I always tell people with the Nine of Swords, it is important that we don't ignore something that is causing us pain because that's what causes a Tower moment with the Nine of Swords, is that we ignore pain in our lives, and then the universe has to wake us up, so the universe causes a Tower moment. Luckily for you, the Tower's coming up in the good stuff, so it's probably going to be good. I don't know yet. When we get there, we'll see, but, I feel this is something that you could avoid. He has all these blue squares on this blanket here, and inside those blue squares, there are all these astrological symbols. So I always say that the Nine of Swords should also give you confidence because the astrological symbols represent the astrology that he has lived through. And it's kind of like also a good comfort blanket because it is telling him like, hey, you have nothing to worry about because you've already been through all these things. Like, you've learned the lessons to be able to handle your situation. So you know what to do, whether you realize it or not. And I feel it's time to get out of something that is either causing you discomfort or is not a comfortable situation, right? And this could be anything for you, Scorpio. It could be any situation that you are kind of like getting out of. With the Empress, you have the Two of Pentacles. I would be careful of burning yourself out this month. Again, we have all this energy in Aries. So Two of Pentacles is work hard, play hard. We have to balance both sides to truly be productive. The other thing is that sometimes I feel with the Nine of Swords that we can create a bunch of busy work just to ignore the situation. And so the Two of Pentacles is spinning plates. It's like trying to do too much. And sometimes I think we have to stop doing that. We have to make sure we're not doing things that we don't need to be doing so that we can focus on whatever's in front of us so we can get out of a situation. And, I feel like that's what this first row is saying. With the Five of Swords, you have the King of Pentacles. You had two Taurus cards here, this card and the Empress. So again, I think that a lot of you are definitely going to feel Uranus's shift into Gemini, around the 25th or somewhere around there, even though Uranus is very slow moving. Again, I think you're going to notice the shift. King of Pentacles is about wealth building. And now I think I think I said this last week or, maybe for the readings of the week of the 13th or something, that I said that I feel like all water signs are going to be focused on wealth building. So, it doesn't really surprise me. It's kind of time for water signs to do that. I think that also because all the planets that are in Aries right now were in Pisces, and some of them for many years, like Neptune and Saturn, I think that had a big effect on water signs. And now nothing is going to be in Pisces for like a long ass time, basically. It's like, yeah, we'll have the, Mercury's and Venus moving through there, over the years and things like that. But, I'm talking about major stuff isn't going to be happening in Pisces for a very long time. And, which is good. I think this is going to kind of lighten the energy up for water signs in general. And it's going to make things a little bit smoother. Again, still not perfect. We're definitely in an imperfect time, but, a little bit better. And I think money is a big part of this. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Three of Wands. Yeah, Three of Wands wants you to expand past the Nine of Swords. So the Three of Wands, he just has to do something different. Nine of Swords is my card of Groundhog's Day, just living the same day over and over and over again. Sometimes I think that Nine of Swords isn't even necessarily bad. It's like bad, but you don't realize it. Because, it's like this basically says that the universe wants you to have more than what you have. Again, if you're living in Groundhog's Day and every day is the same, it might not be terrible. Like if you're still, finding success or still making money or things are okay. But the Three of Wands says there is more that the world has to offer you, Scorpio, but you have to get out into the world and change your routine to be able to find the more, whatever that means for you. And that is what I would do with this reading for sure. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Delight card, which is nice, and this Security card, which is probably true security. Again, we can lie to ourselves with the Nine of Swords and say that we are secure with the Nine of Swords because, again, even though it's uncomfortable, again, it's also still a comfort zone because it's uncomfortable, but we know what we're going to get. So I'm sure you've all been there where you stay in a relationship too long or stay in a job too long that is no longer serving you. And that's really what you have to get out of with these energies is those situations that are like okay, but not great. And I think you are probably learning true security. I mean, Uranus in Taurus, again, you've had that for 7 years. All about security and long-term security and true security. Uranus in Taurus wants us to have like a very solid foundation that creates freedom in our lives. So you could have been learning a lot of lessons about your own personal freedom, what freedom means to you. And again, I always tell people, it's like when you're experiencing a transit like that, you actually, a lot of the times you will experience the opposite, like no freedom or feeling stuck because the universe is trying to get you to see, like, see, you really don't want this, right? So the universe is trying to teach you that lesson. But now you know what real security in your life will look like, and now you can build it. You have the Page of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, and the Eight of Wands. The Page of Pentacles could be new love, by the way. You have the Lovers. You have the Eight of Wands, which can be communication. I look at the Page of Pentacles as a communicator as well. Even though normally we consider the Knights to be messengers, the Page of Pentacles I also think can be a messenger in a reading. And so if you're looking for love, could be an Earth sign or a person with like Earth in their chart. And, this could be a time where you are receiving communication from that person. I'm telling you right now, Scorpio, anything new work-wise would be very beneficial for you. This could literally be a new job. But it could also be like an opportunity to get a promotion or something like that. I would be looking for that. Again, as I've been saying for like 2 years now, nothing is just going to happen anymore. I think before I don't know, like 2012, we probably could stumble upon things more during that time, like 2012 back. I'm not saying it was lucky, but I just feel like things just happened. Like, if you were looking for a job, it's like maybe a friend told you about a job and you got it that way. Or maybe someone was like, oh, I'll hire you, like stuff like that. But it's like, it's not like that anymore. We have to like dig, we have to look. And so I would be looking if you are. You have the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is like a victory or a big success coming in for you. It's also overcoming an obstacle. Like I said, I think it's pretty obvious to me that water signs are going to start feeling this way over the coming months. Again, still not perfect, but I feel that water signs are going to feel like a lightness, more lighter in the energy, and this could lead to victories or big wins coming in for you. Ace of Swords, we also have to cut out the crap. The Ace of Swords cuts both ways. We have this palm frond right here, this olive branch over here. Palm fronds in the tarot represent making a sacrifice. Olive branch is like an offer of peace or abundance. So we can create abundance by cutting things out that are slowing us down or that just we don't need anymore. And I feel it's a great time to do that. You have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is a quick success or a quick conclusion. Eight of Wands wants us to make life smoother as well. My favorite thing to do with this card is to create a slip and slide in life, as I always say. We should be creating a slip and slide in life where we're sliding through, right? Smoothly. And anywhere there is friction, the Eight of Wands wants us to make that either better or eliminate the friction completely if we can. But if we can't, how can we smooth something out? And that's what I would be focused on with the Eight of Wands. I also do feel, again, that there could be communication coming in from a person if you are looking for love. Could be online as well with the Ace of Swords. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands, like very spontaneous energy. It is kind of like happy-go-lucky, adventurous energy. You could be attracting a person like this. Sometimes I feel people get nervous with the Knight of Wands because Knight of Wands can be inconsistent. I don't really feel that here. Obviously, if you do meet a person, they are inconsistent, don't listen to me. I always say, like, tarot can point things out and it can say this looks good, but I'm reading for a lot of you. So, again, if a person is inconsistent, they're inconsistent, and I would avoid that at all costs. But, if they're just spontaneous and, kind of playful, that's like a whole different story. So, that's more what I feel here. I also feel you should be going on more adventures. We all should, because the opposite of Uranus and Gemini is Sagittarius. And, we have to work with both energies when we have these major planets transiting a sign. So I feel part of Uranus and Gemini is going to be exploring the information that we're getting from the transit, and we have to go on adventures. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Judgment card. Judgment and Tower in a reading is the most powerful combination in the tarot. It represents a major wake-up call, major revelation, or a light bulb moment that you could be having in your life. And I would be listening to any messages that you're receiving. But you could be having a real breakthrough here, Scorpio, is what I feel, where you're getting answers. Even the Ace of Swords can be communication. So you could be, this is your higher self angel. This is your higher self angel right here. And you could be getting answers from your higher self. Could be through dreams, daydreams, messages during the day, repeating numbers. I would be paying attention. Yes, with the Eight of Wands, you have the Page of Pentacles again. So definitely communication coming. This could be a new person if you're looking for love. It could also just be a new opportunity that you're hearing about. Again, we really have to dig into things. I tell people to really look for, it's kind of like a weird time because I feel we shouldn't be accepting the first thing we receive. If you're like looking for a job, you should go look for a few and see what you find. If you're dating, go date a couple people, see what comes up. If you're looking for a house, don't just fall in love with the first thing that you see. It really, I feel we should be kind of exploring and looking around and kind of digging for what we really want. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Think card and this 7th house card that says relationship on it. So there could be a relationship with the lovers coming in for you. It's funny, we were talking about thinking, and you have that Think card, so definitely time to, again, don't just accept the first thing that rolls into your life. And that doesn't mean you can't accept that thing. I feel it's saying allow things to just prove that they deserve to be part of your life, and I feel that would be better for you. You have the Queen of Swords, the Lovers, and the Three of Cups. Queen of Swords is about seeing clearly for the first time. She only has clouds halfway up her body, and so she's looking into the future, and she is seeing clearly for the first time. So there could be a lot of clarity coming in for you this week, or you could be getting answers with the Page of Pentacles twice, Eight of Wands, and the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords can be a truth coming out, but it's not necessarily a truth like you think of it. It could just be clarity, getting the truth on a situation. You have the Lovers. Great time for love for water signs. So if you're looking for love, I would get out there in public where you can talk to people with your mouth, of course. That is the best way to do it right now. So I would get out of the house. The Lovers can also be a decision or a choice that you're making. And usually with the Lovers, I say that we should just kind of pick the new choice. Usually the new choice is the better path to go down. It's not always true. And one thing I will say is that we're kind of in a time of evidence where we have to weigh up both options. The opposite of Aries is Libra. We have a ton of energy in Aries right now. So I would be taking advantage of that energy, and I would do your research into any new options or any new moves you're making, and just make sure that the evidence is there that something is going to work. You have the Three of Cups. Could be meeting a person through friends as well. So again, for those of you looking for love, I would be, spending time with friends, family, taking advantage of social opportunities. These three people are celebrating a harvest, and you have great harvest cards here with the Empress as well. And if you've been putting the work into anything, you could finally be getting the harvest you've been hoping for, getting the reward or the money or whatever out of the situation, which is also great. Scorpio, also make sure to like and leave a comment. Really helps me out. With the Queen of Swords, you have the King of Wands. Yeah, I feel everyone's going to have the King of Wands or the Emperor and stuff like that right now because of all the Aries energy. We really do have to take the lead on things. We also have to finish things. The thing with Saturn and Aries, which Saturn will be there for another 2.5 years or so, is that we have to start and finish. We can't just start. The finish part is very important with Saturn and Aries, that we see things through to the end. So you have to go all the way with the things that you're creating and working on, everything. And as long as you do that, you'll have a great time. So that's what I would do. With the Lovers, you have the Page of Cups. Definitely could be an admirer coming in for you here, Scorpio. So I would go for it. Could be a little bit of a surprise. We have the Tower and the good stuff, and the Tower and the good stuff would be like a surprise, or with this lightning bolt hitting the top of the tower, could be something that kind of changes your reality in some way, and obviously it would be a good thing in the good stuff. With the Three of Cups, you have the Queen of Swords. Again, it's funny that we have the Page of Pentacles twice here and the Queen of Swords twice here as well. She's looking over to the Tower. So if you have had any Tower moments in the past, which you probably have, because you get the Tower with me in almost every single reading, you could be gaining clarity as to what the new reality is that you're entering into, or you could be seeing why a Tower moment had to happen. Next, in the good stuff, you have this Make Your Mark. It says, yes, very important. It says, stick to a decision and don't allow any outside forces to sway you. We were talking about this with the King of Wands. Start and finish. Basically the same thing. Make a choice, see it through to the end. You have this Angels are watching. It says there's nothing to worry about. Angels are watching over you. So yes, there's nothing to worry about. You are protected. And I would be careful of worry right now. Cancer had something very similar. So they had a card that said great worry over nothing, which is different, but kind of the same thing. So you are protected. You have the Seven of Wands, the Six of Pentacles, and the Tower. Yeah, the more sure of yourself you are, the better. Seven of Wands is a card of conviction. It says when you know that something is going to work, when you truly believe that deep down inside, that's when you will be successful. So you have to work on your inner belief system and make sure that you are believing that you can do the things that you think you can do in your life. And that's what I would focus on with the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is also a card of putting up boundaries in the area of the good stuff. It's drawing a line in the sand. It is saying, This is what I'm willing to accept in my life, whatever that line in the sand is, and nothing below it. So having that level of confidence with the King of Wands is going to be very important when it comes to your boundaries, and I would make sure that you are sticking up for your boundaries as well here, Scorpio. You have the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles, like equal give and take. He's giving to this person because this person returns the favor. He's not giving to this person because this person doesn't. So making sure that you're giving to things that fulfill you is going to be important, Scorpio, especially with the Empress. The Empress, she really does not waste her time. So you have to trust history. You have to trust that the things in the past that you've given to that didn't work, probably not worth giving to again. Right? And, especially when it comes to people, places, and things. Now, there is a little bit of a caveat here, which is if you are working on a project that you have not finished, it's an amazing time for Scorpio to do that, especially with Mars in Aries as well, but also Saturn in Aries. That is like the one thing that I would do if I were a Scorpio for sure, is if you have any old projects that could make you money. I've said this to you before, but it's like, one of the best things Scorpio could do is finish something that hasn't been finished. You could really be extracting a lot of value from something. I think I told you the story last week or whenever. Years ago, I created an app that didn't work. But a couple years later, I was able to sell off the assets from the app. So I was able to get something out of it. And I actually made a little bit of money off of that by selling those assets. So it's like you never know. Sometimes you might have something lying around that could, bring in a chunk of change or something. And I really have been feeling that a lot for you, Scorpio. So, again, if you have something that's like half finished, it might be a good time over the next few months to finish it because you'll probably get something for it. You have the Tower. This is coming up in the good stuff. The Tower is you, so whenever you show up as yourself, puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading. The Tower can be about entering into new reality as well. These people have been ignoring reality, and now the universe is forcing them down to reality. But it's coming up in the good stuff. So, your reality could be changing for the better, which obviously would be a good thing for you, Scorpio. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Devil. Yes, I would be avoiding anything toxic. I think this is a good thing for water signs to focus on with all the energy in Aries as well, is getting rid of any bad habits or anything that slows you down, anything that gets in your way. Now, it's coming up in the good stuff, so you probably are doing this in the first place, but the Devil is anything that steals your energy or, any energy vampires that you have in your life. That's where I would be putting up my boundaries. With the Six of Pentacles, you show up again. With the Death card, which is you. So whenever you show up as yourself, puts you in a position of power and strength. Death in the good stuff would be about completing a transition or a transformation or a change that you've been going through. So, that also makes sense with the Tower showing up here. With the Tower, you have the Ten of Swords. Yes, so something is dead, done, over with. Ten of Swords in the good stuff is a blessing in disguise. So you could be experiencing some sort of blessing in disguise by bringing an end to a situation in your life or letting something go. Again, with the Ace of Swords, this could be like a little bit of a sacrifice that you're making where you're cutting one thing out to have something better. You have this yoke card that says feeling tied down or frustrated. Yes, you have been feeling this because of Uranus and Taurus. This is something that we see around a bull's neck, the yoke, right? So now that Uranus is leaving Taurus, you are going to feel a lot lighter. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time, but over the coming months, I feel you're going to feel more and more free in your life, and I would really take advantage of it. I would go, run around, go do the things that you've been held back from doing because it'll benefit you a lot. You have this February card and the shield. It says you need to defend yourself. Boundaries. I think this is more, I tell people all the time with all the Aries energy, and again, we're going to be dealing with this for years with, Neptune will be there for like 14 years. We shouldn't defend ourselves because with fire energy like this, if we defend ourselves, we just look guilty. So what we should be doing is setting boundaries, drawing lines in the sand, and not tolerating things. Just don't even get involved with things that you have to defend yourself from. You have this forest. It says muddled, unclear thinking. I feel your thinking is clearing up. You have the Queen of Swords twice, so maybe things have been confusing. We did have that Mercury retrograde in Pisces last month, so things could finally be getting more clear for you now. These two wanted to come out together. You have this Lily card. It says spiritual love, and you have this mountain. It says major challenge to overcome. So there could be love coming in. Might not be necessarily easy to get it, but again, it might be worth it. It's always worth it to climb mountains. I say, where do you get the best views? At the top of a mountain. So I would go for it here, Scorpio. You have the staff. It says you will be taken care of in difficult times. Yes, there's nothing to worry about, Scorpio. I said it earlier. So you are being taken care of, and you are being guided clearly. You have this, where was it? You have the, Judgment and Lovers with the higher self angel. You are being guided towards something. So that feels pretty good, but I like it. So this looks pretty good, Scorpio. Thank you for being here. Make sure to like, leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your week.